Recording in progress.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Greetings to all our global ambassadors, to all Unpacifians who have joined in today. We truly appreciate you. We welcome you to today's webinar, and this is an official Unpacific webinar, Globally Changing Lives Deep Dive. Today is August 1st, 2023, the first day of August in the year 2023. We are so blessed and honored to have each and everyone who has signed in today. We have an awesome agenda to share with you today. For those who are watching us live and those who will be watching us after today, we appreciate you, we honor you, and we're going to start officially with an amazing song that will be played by Dr. Derek. And please kindly watch the nonverbal communication of that music, because Dr. Derek usually formats it to suit what is trending in the Unpacific ecosystem. So without further ado, I'm going to call on Dr. Derek to play that for us right now as we start today's webinar. Thank you so much, and over to you, Dr. Derek.
On Passive. On Passive, the future of Internet.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Derek, on Passive, the future of Internet. Did you all see those images? Isn't that amazing? And that was just our creative mind, the creative mind of Dr. Derek, and he's sharing it with us in words, in deeds, and through Sister Lerato Shadare Prosperity's music. We appreciate that very much. Thank you, Dr. Derek. Very much appreciated. All right, so the next item on our agenda for the day is the mindset. Our CEO, Mr. Mufare, has promised us the physical, which is where we are in terms of the unpassive journey, and Queen Dr. T is here to give us the mental, which is the mindset. Without the right mindset, we will not get where we have to be in terms of what we need to do in getting ourselves ready for the unpassive journey. And today, Dr. T is going to talk to us about the tips that will help you to change your life as global ambassadors. Based on the population that we have here, I see that most of us know who she is. So I'm not going to take a long time introducing her to the audience, especially those who are viewing us live from YouTube. I want to just give a brief summary of our wonderful Dr. Tunishai Ford. We call her Dr. T, but her full name is Tunishai, and the family name is Ford. We appreciate her and we thank her for being here to put us on our right mindsets every Tuesday on Deep Dive. Dr. T, as we all know, she is an international transformational speaker, a life coach, empowerment trainer, a former TV talk show host, an educator, and author of 4 books. We are also privileged that she can spend some time to share with us, especially the topic for today, 6 tips that will help us change our lives. Without further ado, please let's welcome Dr. Tunishai Ford. Dr. T, you're most welcome.
Hey.
Keep smiling.
Hey.
The microphone is yours. Hey. Thank you for the smile.
Hey, I'm still singing that song in my head, In It to Win It. I love that song. How is everyone doing? Our brand ambassadors, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I am honored to be here another Tuesday just to give you a word of encouragement, because the whole objective of Deep Dive is to do what? To transform our mindsets. And I believe the only way we're going to truly do that is to make some serious changes in our lives. Mr. Ash has promised us the money, the ducats, but we have to be ready mentally and in our hearts to be able to go forth and do what we have been destined to do. So I want to just give you the 6 tips. We got 6 tips that will help you change your life. Now, we already know that in order for us to achieve anything, we've got to go through a transition. And I know for myself, every day I look in the mirror and I ask myself, what is it about myself that I need to improve? I know a lot of you may feel like, oh, Dr. T can do this and do that, but I promise you, it is always a transformation journey for me. In fact, one of my prayers, when I pray, I ask God to give me a life makeover. I want to get to the point where I can look in the mirror and not recognize myself. And I'm not saying that I'm putting myself down. That's not what I'm saying. But I know, just being human, just being in this flesh, that there are things about myself that I need to work on, that I need to change because I have not arrived. It doesn't matter what you have achieved in this life. You still, that's what, anytime that God gives you more time on this earth, that means that he's giving you an opportunity to do everything better, to reach a plateau where you can say, okay, I'm doing what God has called me to do. We'll never be perfect. There's nobody perfect. There's nobody good, but we all can reach a place in our lives where we can feel like we're fulfilled. And that's what it's all about, experiencing that fulfillment. So I want to be able to express to you right now a time where you can just learn to expose yourself to new experiences, people, open doors, and more opportunities. And the only way that you're going to be able to experience those is to put the 6 tips that I'm going to share with you tonight into practice. So the first tip that I want to share with you, this is so important. Number 1 is, first of all, you have to identify and understand what changes you want and you need to change. Like I said, looking in the mirror, when you look in the mirror, do you ever ask yourself, what do I need to work on? What areas in my life that I know that I have not arrived? I mean, all of you, just spending all this time with you, I'm going to just assume that all of you are very positive people who want to do great things. But when we leave this platform and we're spending time with ourselves, by ourselves, do we ask ourselves, what do I need to work on? What areas do I want to change? How can I come up higher? I know I do. So I'm going to assume that many of you are like me, and you want to change some areas in your life. And some of the things you want to change, I may be able to mention to you right now. We're going to look at some internal changes and some external changes. Some internal changes might be to work on your personality. Some of you are very introverted, and I have nothing against that, but I'm an extroverted person, as you can see that. And I don't understand introverted people, but that's how they are. I believe that God wants us to be friendly. God wants to be outgoing. He wants to be people that are approachable. And in order for you to do that, you want to work on your personality. How about even working on wrong beliefs? Some of you may have wrong beliefs. You may have a belief in, I'm not even going to talk about religion. We're not going to go there. But there may be other areas in your life where there's wrong thinking, wrong beliefs. These are internal things. You may want to work on those things. That will help you experience change. How about becoming more knowledgeable? Knowledge is power. And when you have that power, you can also see change and fulfillment in your life. And another area, as JW talked about last week, how about your eating habits, your diet? These are internal changes that you might want to make. And that's just to name a few. How about some external changes? Working on or improving your image. Do you look in the mirror and say, hey, I may dress a little frumpy, or maybe I'm too dramatic, maybe I need to tone it down a little bit, or maybe I need to come up a little bit, put some color on my face, change the colors of my clothing and things like that. These are external things. When you want to put your best foot forward, your image plays a very important role. People always say that clothes don't make the man, but I always say they help. What is the best impression of yourself when people see you? What are they going to think of you when they see how you're dressed, how you carry yourself? If you're a woman, your makeup, your hair. If you're a man, the hairstyle that you wear. These are all important factors if you want to be able to change your life. How about obtaining your healthy weight? Whether you have to lose weight or gain weight. Yeah, I said that. I said lose weight or gain weight. Some people, they need to gain weight to be at their healthy weight. This is an external change that we need to make. How about decluttering your surroundings? Some of you know that you need to declutter your home, declutter those areas in your house. We talked about that before. There are areas in your home that you need to declutter. That is one great aspect of changing, getting your physical house in order. And also, how about changing your work environment? I hope that when you get your monies from On Passive, that some of you will seriously think about living your dream of becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe even pursuing that 9-to-5 job that you've always wanted to have. You know, you can do it. But again, these are changes that you want to make. So the first tip again is to be able to identify what changes you need to make and want to make. And I just shared with you a few internal and external changes. The second tip is to rid your life of negativity. And let's start with you. Yes, I said that. Let's start with you. If you want to be able to change your life and get rid of the negativity, we need to start with ourselves. Again, that goes by looking in the mirror. Are you the kind of person that sees the glass half empty, or do you see it half full? Do you use words like, I can't do that. It won't ever happen for me. I can't line up with him or her. I'll never win. And I'm not that smart. Do you ever find yourself saying those words? You find yourself comparing yourself. You find yourself being in situations where you just don't push yourself enough because you feel that you can't do it. I want to be able to challenge you to start with yourself. When we talk about negativity, getting rid of negativity, start with you. And then you want to go into your environment. Make sure that you find yourself being in positive situations. Avoid negative situations. Avoid negative people. Those are dream killers. When you get your money from on passive, I promise you, like I told you before, they're going to come out of the woodwork. You're going to find all kind of people and situations you'll find yourself in when you have money. You're going to be you're going to draw those things to you, the negative and the positive. You want to push away the negative and you want to invite the positive. So the second tip is to rid your life of negativity. And again, to start with yourself. The third tip, and this is so important, go out of your way to be kind to others. Now, this is what I just said. I said, go out of your way. I didn't just say be kind to others. I said, go out of your way to be kind to others. This is to be something you do on a daily basis, because when you're kind to others, that is going to draw goodness to you. That's going to draw fulfillment to you. That's going to give you what should I say, kudos with God. When you go out of your way to be kind to other people. When you're kind to other people, there are certain benefits that come with that. The benefits of being kind to others is it's going to boost your feeling of confidence. It's going to make you feel like you're in control. It's going to leave you with a feeling of happiness and optimism. It's going to reduce stress. And the more you do for others, the more you do for yourself. I want to give you a story. This is a true story. About a year and a half ago, I was in a store called Kohl's. If you are familiar with that store, it's called Kohl's. I don't know if it's nationwide, but I know it's here in Michigan. And I was leaving the store, and there was an elderly woman. She was a white lady, and she was elderly, and she had a disability. And she had these heavy bags, and I was trying to figure out how she was going to carry it to her car. So I saw her, and I said to her, ma'am, may I help you? And of course, she looked at me a little funny. I don't know if it's because she felt that I was going to try to hurt her or whatever it may have been. And other people saw her struggling too. But I asked her, I said, may I help you? And she said, yes, you can help me. And I walked her to her car. I took her bags, and I walked her to her car. I opened the car door for her. I let her in, hoped to get in. And that just left me with a feeling of euphoria. I said, wow. And she looked at me and she said, thank you so much. And I could see the appreciation in her face. I can hear it in her voice. And I felt so good being able to make someone's day. And I know that day she probably thought about me. We did not exchange names. That was not necessary. But I know she thought about, wow, someone took the time to be kind to me. Let me give you another scenario. Have you ever been in a situation where you were in a grocery store and you may have seen somebody, you may have in your basket 15 to 20 items, and you're ahead of a person who only has a few items in their hand? How many times have you said to that person, you can get ahead of me? Okay, I do it all the time. Because you're not in your head, Sister Debbie. How about this scenario? What about this one? How many times have you seen a situation in a grocery store? We may have seen a mother with small children, and she has a budget, and then you know how little children put things in the basket? They're putting things in the basket, especially the things that are in the aisle. And the mother says to the little boy or girl, sweetheart, mommy doesn't have the money to pay for that. How many times have you said to the cashier, what does that cost? I'll take care of that. Didn't that make you feel good? Those are the kind of things I'm talking about. And this is something you should strive to do every single day. That's why I made the statement, go out of your way. Even when you're in the house, you may say, well, I'm a homebody. I don't go out. I don't like to go outside and be bothered with people. Okay, I have one for you. What about taking the time to go on Facebook and finding somebody you haven't seen or talked to in a while and send them a note? Let them know how you're thinking about them. Or how about one of those e-cards that you can send someone that you may know that's going through something really hard, and you send a funny e-card or a sympathy card, not a sympathy card, but a card that's heartfelt, that talks about how you feel about them, and you're wishing them well and you're praying for them. Those are acts of kindness. That's when you actually go out of your way to show someone that you care. Because when you do that, you are provoking change. You are provoking change in your heart. You are provoking change in your attitude. You are provoking change in your paradigm. Everything is changed because you are acting like someone who cares. That is a wonderful way to bring in change in your life. And the fourth tip is to build a support network. Remember, you are not a lone ranger. Anything that's great that you have to achieve in this life, I promise you, you cannot do it alone. Let's look at our founder and CEO. He had the vision, but I'm pretty sure that everything that you see right now, he's not doing it by himself. You already know that. You already know that there are certain skills and abilities that he did not have. So he surrounded himself with people, not people with certain skill sets, but he surrounded himself with people that actually like him. He is surrounding himself with people who actually love him. He's surrounding himself with people that will be able to give him good advice. This is so important when you are trying to go forth in anything you're doing. You need people that are going to give you good advice. You need to be around people who are going to be there when you're ill. You need to be around people when you're making major decisions that are in your corner. So be careful to choose who your peers are. You know, who the family members that you hang out with, even your friends, who you call your friends. Because I always tell people all the time, surround yourself around people who are smarter than you. Surround yourself around people that can take you to the next level. And this is so important when you're building a network. Anybody who wants to see change in their lives, anyone who wants to see change in their lives, they need to build a support network. And when you build that support network, you are guaranteed to see change, positive change in your life. And the fifth tip is to eliminate the non-essentials. Eliminate those non-essentials. When you have identified the things that are most important in your life, it's time to start eliminating everything else. It's called simplifying your life. When I was in management years ago, our manager, the store manager, I used to be in retail, and I was the assistant manager of a very well-known retail chain all over the world. It's an international store. And my manager used to teach us about this called the KISS method. It's called keep it simple, stupid. That's what he said, KISS. And he taught us how to just make everything simple. Don't complicate everything. And I want to give you the same advice. Keep it simple. Keep the stupid part out, but keep it simple. Simplify your life. Get rid of the emotional clutter so that you won't experience an overload in your life. When you get rid of non-essentials, then that means that you're prioritizing. Everything will be in order, and those are the things that you concentrate on. Don't always be the go-to person. I know there are families where there might be their family members in large families, and you're the only one that can solve the problem. When it's time for a funeral, you're the one that has to plan it. When it's time for a wedding, you're the one that has to plan it. When it's time for a family reunion, you're the one that has to plan it. Don't always make yourself available for things like that, because what you're doing is you're taking your time and your effort and your talents away from what you're supposed to be doing, and you're spending time and effort on things that doesn't even concern you. You can be there, you can be involved, but you don't have to always be the go-to person. Get rid of those non-essential areas in your life that's going to hinder you from seeing the change that you want to see. You want to have a life that's fulfilled and trouble-free. I mean, we're going to always have troubles and trials and tribulations, but don't add to it. It's one thing when trouble comes and you had nothing to do with it. But when you allow and open up a door for those things to come, then that's on you. My grandmother used to always say, she said, 90% of the problems that we have in life, we bring them on ourselves. Why? Because of poor decision making, because of making choices for the wrong people that we have in our lives and wrong situations we find ourselves in. Again, you don't have to be the go-to person. You don't have to learn how to say no. No is a great word, especially when it's none of your business. When I say business, I'm talking about the busy work, putting your hands in everything. And when it's time for you to do what you're supposed to be doing, guess what? You're tired. You're worn out. You're exhausted. You can't get it done. And that happens all the time. How many times have you started a project and you couldn't finish it because something else got in the way? Those non-essential things. So that's the fifth tip. Eliminate the non-essentials. And the last tip that I want to share with you tonight is to take baby steps. Yes, take baby steps. If you want to persevere, remember the story of the rabbit, the tortoise, and the rabbit? How the rabbit was running real fast, taunting the tortoise and everything. And he was running and just going all over the place. And the tortoise was just taking his time. Pacing himself. And then all of a sudden, before the rabbit got to the finish line, what? He fell out. He fainted. He couldn't make it. And here's the tortoise crossing the finish line. Why? Because he took his time. He took steps. He watched the road. That's how it should be with you. When you're taking on a large project, or when you're trying to achieve something huge or something of purpose, you don't rush it. Look at our CEO. What's going on? We're waiting right now for what? For our products to come live where we can actually purchase them. And what has he told us? If you watch the webinar, I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing it. Because when I launch this, I want everything to be right. Apply the same principles to your own life. Some of you may have projects that you're working on that's important to you. It might be writing a book. It might be getting ready to start your own business. It might be a nonprofit. It might be an LLC. But whatever it is, take the time and do the research. Take the time to educate yourself. Take the time to prepare your body for the journey. Take those baby steps. And when you take those baby steps, you're going to break that big picture, take it in segments. Put that big picture in segments so you won't feel so overwhelmed. And you heard the old cliche. The cliche says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So begin to take those baby steps. And when you get ready to eat that elephant, take one bite at a time. And I promise you, when you begin to execute these 6 tips, that you'll begin to see change in your life. Let me do a recap right now before I end this. We're going to recap the 6 tips that will help you change your life. The first one, you're going to identify and understand what you want and need to change in your life. That's the most important thing. What do you want to change? What do you need to change? Number 1. Number 2, rid your life of negativity. Start with you. That's the first thing you want to start with. The negative things that are in your life, start with you first. Your mindset, the things that come out of your mouth, start right there. And then think of the different elements and situations to avoid the negativity, the people, avoid those things. The third one is go out of your way to be kind to others. Because when you do that, you're going to take yourself to a whole nother level where you are purposely going out there showing love and showing kindness. The fourth tip is to build and support network. Remember, you are not a lone ranger. Anything worth doing, anything that you're going to do for God, you're going to have a team. Even Jesus had 12. All right. And the fifth tip is to eliminate the non-essentials. Get rid of the emotional and social and physical clutter in your life. And the last one is to take baby steps. Don't try to climb the mountain in one leap. Take steps. Be like the tortoise and the rabbit, okay? Don't be like the rabbit and you can't finish the finish line. Be like the turtle and cross over. And remember, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If you put these 6 tips into practice, I promise you, you will see a positive and fulfilling change in your life. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much, Dr. T.
That's all there is. There ain't no more.
6. I'm so glad you gave us 6 instead of 5 because 5 would have been one hand, right? 6 means the second hand is also involved, because on the other side of the continent, we always say 1 foot not to run quick, because it's only 5 fingers. But if you have 3 from each side and it's 6, you can always use both sides to have the equilibrium. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. T. Wow, those 6 tips, I don't know where we fall. I'm not going to say where I fall, because I'm all over the whole place. And I know most of us are all over the whole place as well, except for those who are very well disciplined to know where they fall. Because being able to, just the first one, to identify those issues and avoid negativity, it's not that easy. Just the first 2. It's definitely not easy. And being able to have the heart to help people, everyone's personality is different. So your presentation is just amazing. It's an outstanding thing that you've just shared today. And I hope that those of us who've been listening can emulate some of those tips, put them into practice. They will help us in our personal lives, not just us, but people around us. I learned on my own that when you have a positive mind and you have positive people around you, and you're surrounded by family and friends who have the same mental set like you, the same mindset like you will continue to flourish. But if, unfortunately, you surround yourself unknowingly with negativity, that's what you will go along. So I pray that all of us are on the positive aspect of life. So without further ado, please, if you have any input, any comment based on Dr. T's presentation, this is the right time to say it while she's still here and is still fresh in our minds before we move to the next item. Kindly raise your hand and share your comment, or if you have a question, by all means, go ahead. But as we're going ahead, I just realized that when we started, not deliberately, but it was an error. I have to say thank you, Dr. Benny, for the welcome. Thank you, Dr. Derek, and thank you, Dr. T. So I'm going to move now to Dr. T. If you have any question for her, any comment, please go ahead and raise your hand, and she's here to give you her feedback. Thank you. Hey, Dr. Benny, thank you so much for the welcome messages and the welcome greetings. Thank you. Over to you.
Queen Debbie, you know that I was going to say something, right?
If you didn't say something, I'll know something is not right with Dr. Benny today. You always should say something.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. Wait. Anyway, before I proceed, hey, Dr. T, thank you so much. Anyway, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank Dr. Derek also for this platform. Thank you, Dr. Derek. Dr. Derek! Thank you. All right. Anyway, I want to first of all thank our God for bringing all of us together. Dr. T, thank you. What should I say? Extraordinary presentation. Everything is for me. All this, but there's something about the baby steps. I'm trying to find out. I mean, what do you want me to do when you say I should take my baby steps? Please.
Okay, I don't understand your question. What do you mean?
I mean, question, the six, you know, right? You gave us 6, right?
Yes.
6. Okay. The last one you said, take your baby steps. Take the baby steps.
Okay, what I mean by that is, you know, just like our CEO. I mean, how long has we been working on this? I mean, he didn't just do this start last year. He's been doing this for almost, 5 years? So he started somewhere. He probably started with a business plan. He probably started with sharing it with different people and to see what they thought about his idea. And everything started coming to place. Everything that you see right now was a process. So that's an expression. Take baby steps. In other words, do your research. Get yourself together before you just launch whatever you're trying to do. Sometimes we have these big projects and we want to just go ahead and do it right away, but we're not ready. We have to put the time in and put the research in and put in and make sure that we're physically ready. Like we talked about, like you might want to write a book, find out what it's like to write a book. Do some research and find out what does it take to write a book. Do you want to be a self-published person? Do you want to get a publisher? I talked about being a speaker. You got to be ready to go all over the world and speak. Make sure you're physically ready. Make sure your diet is right. So I say take baby steps. I'm saying it's a process. It's not a launch. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You know what I'm saying? You're taking strides. Okay, you're taking wise strides, and you're doing the things you need to do to accomplish a large goal. Like the turtle and the rabbit. The turtle took his time. We know it's a slow animal. That's what we should be doing. Sometimes we should just take our time before we just launch off and do something. Because I promise you, when you launch something too soon, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to leave something out. And then you got to start all over again and apologize and make explanations for why something didn't happen. But when you take your time and do the research, then everything is going to come together and always going to be well.
Thank you.
Thank you. That.
Oh, yes. I appreciate you. Now, this one, number 3, go out of your way to be kind to others. This is really, really important. I believe all of us should do that.
Yes.
Because that is the reason why our CEO stated, despite the fact that he is a visionary, he decided to share this vision to all of us. Now it is time for us. As soon as we start receiving the apples, we should go out there and share it to others, right?
I believe that, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's why I made the statement, go out of your way. I mean, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, I want you to wake up in the morning and say, who can I be a blessing to today? That's intentional kindness. You don't just wait for something to happen. You get up in the morning with anticipating being kind to someone. Because right now, if you could be kind to someone, you may say, well, I don't have my money yet. You don't have to have money to show kindness to people. You don't have to have money to help somebody carry groceries to their car. You don't have to have money to help a mother pay for a few candy bars for their children. You don't have to have a lot of money for that. You don't have to have money to get on Facebook or send an e-card and say kind words. We need to start practicing kindness now while we don't have money. Put this into practice. Be intentionally kind. Show intentional love. And this is what God wants us to do. You know what I'm saying? Be intentional about what we do and showing kindness. That's why I say go out of your way. I didn't just say be kind. I said go out of your way. Intentionally wake up in the morning and say, who can I be a blessing to today? How can I help?
This is awesome. This is what we're supposed to be doing. As from now on, we should start today. If you were not doing it, start tonight. Thank you so much, Dr. T. I know I will be quiet. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Thank you, Dr. T. And the last hand we have for Dr. T is from Queen Vinette. Queen Vinette, thank you for always smiling, and thank you for being here with us as always.
Hello to my beautiful deep dive people and passive people. Dr. T, I'm pretty sure there's just one more you can pull from that hat. One more rabbit you can pull from that hat. Come on, give it to me. That was awesome as usual. Thank you so much. I can relate to just about anything that you said, everything that you said there, like, the kids at the candy machine in the supermarket, but they have no change, but they're, just messing with the slots, and they're trying to shake the candies out. Yeah, I'm the type that will just ask the parents, can I give them some quarters, or letting the person go ahead of you if they have less grocery. I can relate. If the person ahead of you cannot afford to pay for certain groceries and they're putting it back, I'll be like, can I get that for you? There are just certain unwritten rules that you should know if you're humane, if you're selfless. There's certain things that you should know without people asking you or telling you to do if you can afford to do it, It's just like driving on the highway and you're driving in the fast lane and you're driving slow in the fast lane and you're holding up the traffic behind you. Like, there's no rule that say you can't drive in the fast lane, but just selflessness, if you're humane or common sense, can tell you pull over in the middle lane or the slow lane because you're not driving fast enough and there are people rushing behind you, let them go, so I understand exactly where that's coming from. So you said surround yourself with people who are going somewhere, like-minded people. Yes. And there's a saying that said, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are, so
Okay.
I always say to my kids, surround yourself with friends who are going places, who are going somewhere. If you surround yourself with friends who are going nowhere, you're going exactly nowhere with them. So surround yourself with friends who are going places, who are going somewhere. So I'm a big believer in keeping it simple too. I always say, keep it simple, just keep it simple. Don't complicate things. What do you need to complicate things? Some people make things so hard when it's just so simple, And
Yeah.
simple doesn't mean that you wanna take the lazy way out, or you want things easy, the easier way out or the lazier way out. It's just keeping it simple, doing it, time management, keeping it simpler and getting the best result, So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I just wanted to say this before we go on to Dr. Derek or whoever's doing our next presentation. I look at all of the presenters for the last several months, and everything is talking about change. Dr. John talking about finances, Queen Miriam, Queen JW, Dr. Derek. Mm-hmm. Everything we've been talking about is change. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, don't worry about Mr. Ash. He's doing what he's doing. It's not going to happen any sooner or later. It's going to happen when it happens. But when you look in the mirror, at yourself, who do you see? And do you see a person that's going to be able to handle the assignment? See, that's what it's all about. Mr. Ash is giving us an assignment with this money. It's just like the parable in the Bible, okay? About the man, the merchant that went away and he left his servants with so much money and one of them buried it. If you don't have the proper mindset, does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
If you don't have the proper mindset, you're going to be the one who buries it. I don't care how much money you get in your wallet. You're going to bury it. You're going to be the one who's going to squander it. You're the one who's, and then they're going to say, Mr. Asher say, what did you do with your money? Vinette, what did you do with your money? Oh, well, I just did this and I just did that. Mm-hmm. Well, did you invest it? No, you don't want to be that person. So you want to make every day of your life while we're waiting, everything we're doing right now, up to this day, it's about changing who you are. You can't control the money that's going to come into your wallet if you're going to just be receiving money. It's the way they're going to be doing it. But you can change you.
And it starts from right now. If you don't know how, it starts from right now. You will not know what to do with a lot if you can't control the little that you have.
It starts from right now.
And giving starts from right now. If you cannot give from the little that you have, then when you get a lot, you're just gonna be a rich, selfish person,
Right. I know this may not be the most interesting topic. Maybe you've heard a lot of this stuff before, but I'm reiterating because I'm trying to drive. That's how I teach. I'm driving home. You may hear me repeat something again next time.
That's fine.
God wants us to drive it home because when this money comes, you got to be that girl. You got to be that guy. You can't get you ready when it comes. You got to get ready now. You got to get ready for the harvest now. You don't wait till the harvest comes and try to go buy the tools. You buy the tools before the harvest comes. Then you start and utilize it. And that's what I'm trying to do. Just help you transform your minds so that you can get ready for the harvest. And when God says go, you can go. You'll be ready.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. T. Queen Vinette. Thank you for always gracing yourself with your presence and also those wonderful comments that you have for all the presenters each time you come in. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. This stage, we're moving to the next segment of the webinar. And Dr. T, thank you for nailing it today, as always. As always, we appreciate you every Tuesday, regardless of Rain or shine, you're always here to share with us. We appreciate that very, very, very much.
Thank you.
And we're moving to the next segment. And I want to, again, once more, Dr. Derek, we appreciate you. We thank you for your selflessness, for always being with us, standing on your feet. Each time we start onto the end, even after party, we see you, you're still on your feet. God has blessed you with that, and you're sharing it with us. And thank you for the awesome images that you share at the beginning of each webinar, because those images about what Unpassive Journey is right now, personally, I call it the current event, the visual current event. And I can only get it here or on Dream Team. Thank you. And thank you for giving us voices. You give voices to the voiceless. We appreciate that very much. Even though we may not tell you on a regular basis, but know that we appreciate it. Thank you. I know we're going to hear something very special on how to earn from our banks. Boy, well, if you don't have money, you cannot go to the bank. And if you don't have access, you cannot go to the bank, depending on where you are from. And from most of us who are here, unless you live in the US, but even if you're living in the US and you are from what we call Global South, which used to be developing countries, or some people, at one point it was called third country. Now politically correct is Global South. You have had that experience of having maybe $50 in a bank account, which means a lot of money. And one day you went there and they told you the bank has closed and you were counting on that. Can you imagine? Anyway, I'm not a banker, but I've had such experiences where you put your money in the bank and you're desperate, you lost someone, you don't have money to pay your hospital bills, you go to the bank and they tell you the bank is no longer there. And we're in America right now. So thinking about that is like a nightmare. Without further ado, please, Dr. Derek, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you. And by the way, you look stunning in your black, gray, and red. Welcome. You are muted. You have to unmute yourself, Dr. Derek. All right. Take your time.
All right. Okay. That is important. Most definitely. Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of holy love to all our global ambassadors and those who are also viewing, whether now or later on YouTube. Really appreciate it. And remember to subscribe and like on whatever YouTube channel you are watching this live, whether it's Smile with Dr. Benny Blessings, or it's Dr. Patience, which Dr. Patient is oh my goodness, Dream, right? Dream with Dr. P, Dream with Dr. P, and of course Deep Dive YT. All right. Thank you very much for watching on whichever YouTube channel you are watching on. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. T, Dr. Tunishai. Dr. Tunishai. What a presentation. A lot of people is waiting. You see, that is a problem. We are waiting to get that money before we can address humanity. No, from once you are of age and from once you get some blessing, God expects us to bless others. From once you get some blessing, right, God expects us to bless others. So it's not a matter of waiting, because what you're saying is that if there was no on passive, then you will not bless others. And that would be the wrong approach. That would be the wrong approach to where what we are doing is concerned. Right? So let us bless others. There are simple ways to bless others. Just kind of adjusting the focus on the camera. There's many ways to bless others. You don't have to have a big bag of money to bless others. Actually, couple times, I didn't have the money to bless others out of my pocket. So what I did is I drove to the food bank and I collect some things from the food bank, drove to where homeless people are and bless them, you know, because I just did not have the money to bless others at that time, you know, but I found another way to still bless others because God blessed me with a mode of transport to go down to the food bank or go over to the food bank and get some items. So from once there's a will, there is a way. And that is what Dr. T was pleading to us about, that we must intentionally be kind to others. It's not just as somebody knock on your car window and you barely roll it down a little because, of course, yes, you are afraid, and you just slip the little $100 bill, the $1 bill. Sorry, not 100. I'm looking at $100 bill over there. The $1 bill, you just slip the $1 bill at the crease of your window, and as soon as the $1 is dragged through the window, you wind up back the window and you raise up your hand to say bye, so long. No, it must be intentional. Thank you very much, Dr. T. Really appreciate it. Awesome. And thank you very much, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, and of course Queen Vinette. Really appreciate it. Okay. How to earn from your bank? Yes. Did you know you actually can earn from your bank? Did you know that you earn from your bank from once you have a bank account? You are presently, if you have a bank account right now, you know, quite possible you are earning from your bank. And a lot of people didn't know, but yes, you earn from your bank. Watch this now. Let us look at these ways that we actually earn from our bank. Right? There are actually 6 best ways that I'm going to share with you. 6 best ways to earn from your bank. First of all, everybody knows savings account. Yes, savings account. But there is also a high yield saving account, HYSA. High yield, and all of this information I got from Queen Miriam Edwards, EA. And of course, yes, she's a financial advisor. So yes, she advised me. And this is who I got all of this information from. But we're looking at the high yield savings account. And so the annual percentage yield, which is APY, right? So this is annual. This is not monthly, it's annual, right? For example, a traditional saving account might have an annual percentage yield of 0.19. Let me say that again, 0.19%. So you save in a savings account and the whole year, you might have what? $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, you know, $20,000, and all you get on that account, all the income you get on that account, all the earnings you got on that account is 0.19%. So let us kind of look at it in a little detail. So if you are getting the 0.1 percent, then if you have $1,000 in your account, if you have $1,000 in your account at the end of the year, right, ARAPY, you are looking at $1.09. That's all. That's what you earn for the whole year, leaving that $1,000 into your account, right? Watch this now. However, with the high yield savings account, that same $1,000, then we're talking about 3.75%. That's number one. The percentage is way up there. And we're talking about $37.50. And this is US dollars. All right, $37.50, and you're good to go. All right, let us look at certificate of deposit, what is affectionately called CD. Now, with CD, the term is typically between 6 months to 5 years that you'd have to first of all leave whatever money you put in there, right? And of course, you and your bank manager is going to discuss that. That all right, I'm going to leave 20,000 inside the CD, and at the end of 3 years, at the end of 5 years, so you cannot touch that money for 3 years or 5 years. And oh my goodness, you have to leave it right there. Okay. Then of course, to earn from your bank, you have money market account. You have money market account. Money market account is a type of account that offered by banks and credit unions. Like other deposit account, money market account is insured by the FDIC and the NCUA up to 250,000 US dollars, of course. Held by the same owner or owners, money market account tend to pay you higher interest rate than other types of saving account. So that is another way that you can earn from your bank. But how many persons have $100,000 to put on MMA? I don't know. But anyway, then you have bonds. You have bonds. You can earn from your bank by investing in bonds. A bond is a loan to the insuring party, usually either a government or a company. The most common type of bond is the US Treasury or savings bonds, and you keep your money in a bond for a set period. So it's not something you can, withdraw from, and it's a set period, just like CD. It's a set period, and you have to leave it right there for that period of time. All right, and so the bonds is another way to earn from your bank. Rewards checking account, and I think even Dr. John talked about this a couple weeks ago. Rewards checking account, that you can get rewards from your credit card, and it's a good thing to have a credit card, and some credit card offer rewards. So if you do this, then they give you a reward for doing it, etc., etc. So you'd have to know exactly what reward that is offered with that particular checking account. All right, but that's another way to earn from your bank. Another way to earn from your bank is bank bonuses, right? And you can earn, some bank will give you up to $200 by opening a new checking account with 500 monthly direct deposit. So say for argument's sake, you have maybe a job, and that job is going to do direct deposit right there to your account, and you open that account, and of course you will earn that $200 with that 500 monthly direct deposit coming into your account. All right. And so that is another fantastic way to earn from your bank. But all these 6 ways, you know, is chicken feed. You know, is like a 200 here. I mean, it add up. But like a 200 there, like a 300 there, or what have you, or like 1,000 there, and what have you. That is good. That is wonderful. That is awesome, really and truly. However, watch this now. Now, a lot of persons do not even knew that this now is a way for us as users, not only founders, but also users, to earn from their bank. And that is actually KYC. Now, yes, all of us know KYC is Know Your Customer. And of course, we are going to do the Know Your Customer through Verify. We are going to do that in order to move the money from our wallet to our bank account. And of course, that is not going to cost us anything, because what is it for? What is it? The purpose, right? Know Your Customer, properly known as KYC, is, in simple words, is a process followed by banks. So banks and financial institutions use it to verify the identity and address of customers who do financial transaction with that particular bank. KYC is imperative for account opening, mutual fund investment, loan application, applying for a credit card, investing in FD or RD, which is fixed deposit or recurring deposit accounts. So, what is a KYC document, right? While opening a bank account, you must submit PAN, right, which is primarily account number, as ID and address proof, and Aadhaar number, enrollment number, along with a recent photograph. And so, proof of identity, most of the time it's passport, driver's license, voter's IDs, PAN card, Aadhaar card, and NRGEA job card. I think that is somewhere in India or so. All right, and proof of address, of course, electric bill, gas bill, bank account statement, which is from another bank, and landline bill, not your cell phone bill, because cell phone bill, you know that, yes, it go to an address, but cell phone is kind of a roving kind of phone, so they don't really use that cell phone bill. It has to be a landline bill. Insurance, life insurance policy, and registered lease rent agreement, because they want to prove that you live somewhere and not in a box, right? So those are the documentation that, of course, you are going to need. While opening a bank account, you must submit PAN as ID and address proof, right? You have to do that. Right. The two types of KYC verification, Aadhaar, of course, and in person. So let us quickly look at both, right? Aadhaar based KYC can be done online. So if you have an internet connection, you can do Aadhaar based KYC. However, you need to scan and upload a copy of your original Aadhaar card and do the process, right? As Ad Passive is going to be taking care of all of that, so we don't need to worry. Let us consider the example of mutual fund investment. If you want to invest in a particular mutual fund, and opt for an Aadhaar-based KYC, you can only invest 50,000 annually, right? So if you want to do more, then you have to do an in-person KYC if you're going to do more than the 50,000. So that's kind of the difference between the Aadhaar. Aadhaar is just up to a 50,000 annual investment. As the name suggests, in-person KYC verification is done offline, which is in person. To complete an in-person KYC is when, of course, you actually physically go to the bank or that financial institution in a nutshell, right? These days, especially given the pandemic, banks and financial institutions completed KYC through video call, etc. And of course, required to show your Aadhaar card and document during the KYC. So this is kind of what they kind of look for and all of that. So yes, banks are required to update their KYC record periodically. So sometime they might ask you, did you change your address in the last month or two, right? Sometime you go to the bank or sometime you call your bank and they ask you these questions. Did you change your address? Did you this? Because they want to update the KYC records. All right. So that is why they ask you those information, right? The period after which a bank may call or connect with you to complete your KYC record varies based on the type of account and factors such as the banker's risk perception. However, yes, the bank may connect with you after a specific period to update your KYC record. And of course, you know, KYC is required. Is KYC required every time you make a transaction in the bank? No, no. The KYC is just required only the first time when you open that bank account or that with that financial institution, and of course periodically, as we said. So this is very, very important to us. Why? Right? Why is it important to us? Because of course, OnPassive has developed its own KYC, right? Which is O-Verify. And why is this important to you and I? Because now we can earn some very, very good, lovely money from your bank. Because watch this now. The bank is what pay the KYC. That's who pay the KYC. You don't pay the KYC physically out of your pocket to do a KYC. But of course, yes, you know, being a part of the bank and what have you, you know, ultimately kind of come out from your being with them, being with the bank, right? And so let us look at this wonderful KYC. When a bank does a KYC, companies charge them for that KYC process because the KYC doesn't come directly from the bank. Yes, it comes directly from the bank, but it's not the bank that set it up. So they have to go to another company, or, you know, they use what you might call a software that they purchase from somewhere or something. Whatever the situation is, the bank is what pay the third-party company for that KYC verification. And so, watch this now. Annually, a bank can pay up to 60 million. Let me say that again. A bank can pay up to 60 million US dollars. We're talking about US banks. It varies between countries, whatever the rate is there, or whatever the money equivalent is there. But we're talking about 60 million US dollars annually that these banks are paying these KYC companies in order to do this verification. Now we have this same verification that we can actually present to banks. So you can take O-Verify, present it to a bank, present it to your bank manager, and of course, quite possible, you know, they would be interested and they will use it, right? And of course, if they use it, then you know that even if you're getting 1%, 1% of $60 million, 1%. And all right, let us cut that 60 million in half, right? Because of course, remember that on passive is going to charge them less, right? Etc., etc. So it definitely will work out to less than 60 million that they'll be paying, right? So all right, let us cut that, slash that in half to $30 million, right? Now, if you are getting even 1%, not 3, not 5, not 4, 1% of 30 million US dollars. You work out the maths for that because you should be smiling along the merry way with that amount annually, right? And so that is how we are going to earn the seventh way that we are going to be able to earn from our bank is through O-Verify. So I will implore you that, you know, you should start getting to know your bank manager. If you don't have a clue who your bank manager is, start to get to know. I'm not saying you have to present O-Verify to your bank manager right now, right? But start getting to know your bank manager. Start getting to be familiar with your bank manager, etc. Ask your bank manager, you know, some questions like what Dr. John, you know, talk to you about, etc., etc. About different fundings and different, you know, whatever the bank has to offer that could you know, help you, right? So start talking to your bank manager. Let your bank manager start to know you personally, etc., etc. So that when things start to come on board and money start to roll, then all you would need to do now is to now present that to your bank manager, and you know, I mean, look at it. If he agrees, if she agrees, then you are good to go, and you'll be earning good money from your bank through O-Verify. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I hope this presentation helped you in respective to where you can earn not only 6 ways, good ways, but also this 7th way where you can earn from your bank. So if you don't have, for those persons who are on YouTube, whether coming on later and watching this video or no, if you don't have a ecosystem at this time, then, you know, speak with someone who is a founder in OnPassive to send them your registration link, which is the affiliate link that we have, and then come on board. And who to tell? Talk to a bank manager. You never can tell, they might agree. Thank you very much, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Derek. That is an outstanding presentation on so many things that we need to do for ourselves to get ready when the money starts coming into our wallets. We appreciate you and we appreciate today's presentation. That's just outstanding. Thank you so much once more. At this stage, we're going to move into questions and discussions, but before we do that, I think we can say goodbye to our YouTube viewers. And we thank our YouTube viewers for being with us, not just today, but every Tuesday and Thursday on this forum deep dive. We appreciate you and we look forward to seeing you on Thursday in 2 days' time from now. And